You're good.
Hi, everybody. This is Abby Hunt. I am going to cover bundles today for Shawn's Mastermind group. I'm going to cover what should you bundle, what happens if you already have an idea, is it going to sell, where do you buy things to put in bundles, where do you find wholesale places, and then how do you actually send the bundles into FBA. I won't necessarily be creating a listing, but there are definitely things you need to know if you're going to create a bundle and send it in to Amazon FBA. So the first thing is, what should you bundle? Now, a lot of people try to reinvent the wheel here, where they say, oh, I have this mug collection and I think I should put these mugs together with these spoons and sell them. Well, that's great. But the first thing you should do is look at other bundles that are similar to that on Amazon. Are they already selling? So if somebody puts a set of 2 mugs together, maybe I say, oh, I've got these 2 great mugs. They're Mr. and Mrs. for a wedding, and then 2 little silver spoons. Well, maybe there's already a bundle on there that has those, but then it also has napkins that go with it, and that's selling really well. You want to see what kind of bundle already exists on Amazon that is successful. You don't want to do one and spend the money and create it and send it in and find out that if you had just added little decorative napkins, they would have sold like crazy, but yours only has the cups and spoons. So you definitely, you want to start with the idea you have, the things that you can get, and then look at Amazon just like you would look at any other thing that you're going to sell. If I was going to sell, this little character, I'm going to scan him, and if he's on Amazon, see if he's a good seller. Well, if he's not a good seller, I'm not going to sell him. It's the same thing with bundles. If you're going to say, I'm going to put this mug set together, if they're not selling that way, they're not going to sell that way if you put them together, just because, you think there's some magic to the set that you have. So I want you to look at Amazon first and look at successful bundles and then kind of hack what they're doing. So if someone's got, for example, I have one that is a couple coffee cans and then the filters. Now, people go through coffee all the time. They're going to need filters for the older machines. So putting the coffees together and then the filters is a bundle that's currently selling. So if you can do that, maybe you have a different brand of coffee that you think they should buy, you would put a similar set together. So this particular one is 3 coffee cans and 3 enough filters to do all the coffee that those cans would create. And it's a good seller, so then you would source those types of things. So you don't have to, these are Maxwell House. You don't necessarily have to do Maxwell House. Maybe you've got a great line. You can get a good discount on 8 o'clock coffee, or I can't think of another brand because I don't drink coffee. Taster's Choice or something. So you would find another brand similar that isn't already there and create the bundle. So you'd have the coffee and the filters done. And the nice thing is you could probably put the 3 canisters in a box and put the filters in the other part, fold it up, put a label on it, and send it to Amazon. So it's not like a big, there's not a big learning curve there. It's just put them in a box, send them. Now, if you have an idea of something else, like you want to create a party supply bundle, for example, again, look at Amazon, and I have a couple examples here. You're going to look at Amazon, and this one is a party supply bundle where they've got the cups, the napkins, the plates, and then a tablecloth that goes with it. And of course, trolls are very popular right now. And you would create the listing the same way you would create any other listing, like that little horse I showed before. If there wasn't a listing but similar ones were selling well, I would create a new listing for that. So if I had a good source for these, now this set is great because it sells for $16.84, and sometimes like dollar stores or party supply stores have these for, even the party supply might have them for $2 each. So you figure $8 for the payout of $16.84 is great. What you want to try to do is hit that golden like $35 mark so that people get the free shipping. So if you could add maybe balloons and another decoration to this, you could probably pop it up to that $35 range, and then the shipping's free. People will be like, oh, I want that one, $35, no shipping, done, gone. You might have decorations like those dangling ones that hang from the ceiling. You could even, if you didn't necessarily, I guess Trolls, I don't know that Trolls is the brand, although it may be. I can't remember what the, if they're DreamWorks or who they are, but you could put just plain pink balloons. You could put everything. You just have to watch, because once you start putting the names of a brand, like if you said Disney birthday supplies and you tried to put plain balloons in, they'll get you for combining unlicensed with licensed. So, but certainly you could get Trolls balloons and Trolls wall decorations, that, or even like party favors, stickers or something that you would give out, little hats that were Poppy or the other characters from Trolls, and put them together so that you hit that $35 mark, because then people are saying, oh, $35, done. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to get favors. They're already all together, free shipping, and it's out the door. For party supplies specifically, I like having balloons or some other soft item, like even streamers, so I could put them in the cups when I bag the whole thing. Because once you put it in a poly bag, let me not share my screen. See if I can get back to me. Once you put it in a poly bag, if you can put something inside the cups, they won't get crushed. Then you don't have to put the whole thing in a box. The one thing you do want to be careful of, like let's say I have this confetti, for example. I'm going to put all this stuff in a poly bag. These other barcodes that are going to show through, you want to make sure that you take an extra label, like out of your 30 up labels, that you take an extra label and you cover each piece from the set. So you're actually going to just rip a little piece off of your label, cover this barcode, and then put everything into the poly bag. So if you've got cups and plates and confetti and everything else, you can put it all in the bag and not worry about where the barcodes lay. And then you won't have the problem of one of the Amazon employees scanning your confetti and selling the whole thing as confetti, which is you certainly don't want. So what you'll do is you'll put everything in the bag, seal it up, and put your Amazon barcode right on it, and the whole package goes. Now, something else to think about when you're creating bundles is the actual size of the items. If, like I said, you want to try to get to that $35 golden, number if you can, think about, you still don't want it to become oversized. So don't buy a bunch of like summer toys and put a huge kite in it. Like, even though it seems small, it's small and narrow. If it ends up being over 18 inches, they're going to consider it oversized. So keep all the other small stuff together. And if you're going to do one oversized thing, do 6 kites, an extra string, and that kind of stuff, knowing that the entire thing will be oversized, and price accordingly. But when you're thinking about those bundle components, don't do a large item that will make you over 18 inches or over 20 pounds. I don't know if you're selling bricks, I guess. You want to keep the bundle to a size that, 1, you have bags for, because you want to poly bag the whole thing, and 2, that you can condense it enough that it stays at 18 inches. The tablecloth in that example might be slightly longer, but you could fold it in half and it would fit in there fine, and you're not going to hurt a vinyl tablecloth. So just keep that in mind. Keep in mind that you want to put like something into, like the balloons into the cups so they don't crush in the poly bag, because putting in a poly bag is going to be so much easier than putting it in a box. Now, certainly if they're fragile items, if you're selling like a glass set, like margarita glasses with mix and stuff, you want to box that type of thing and make sure it's protected. But it's just like if you're selling anything else glass, whether it's a bundle or not. So now for other bundle ideas. Again, another party supply thing, but you want to look at what's already on Amazon and then do something similar. Like I said, the coffee things. And this one is a little bit different because these are toys that someone put together in a bundle, and then these little visors, so they look like they've got construction hats on. And this listing is actually very good because it has everything it needs in the title. Whoops, a little too far. including the word bundle. If you look at Amazon's bundle policy, you'll see that bundle needs to be in the title, and that a video game, a book, a DVD, those types of things can't be your main item. There's, they have a whole bunch of things that you can do that would be something else would be the primary item, but you really want to look at their bundling policy and see what they allow. They talk a little bit about the license things, what not to do, what to do. But again, in the title, you want to say bundle, 3 items, tote bag, knit scarf, gloves, blue. So if it's a bundle, you want to say that it's a bundle. But what I wanted to show here was, let's say maybe these aren't exactly, what you want to source, or maybe they are. You can find these. But what's really nice is Amazon already gives you bundle ideas. Even if I looked up just maybe this candle, it would say, frequently bought together are this candle, these party signs, and these truck toys for decorating. You'll notice that with anything, if I bought this caution streamer, at the bottom of the listing, again, it will give me frequently bought together. So if I found this birthday zone streamer at one of my local stores, I could look for it on Amazon and then look to see what Amazon says are frequently bought together. So these construction picks and these signs are also bought with the streamers for $14.63. So if I can buy all 3 together, I save the person the extra step of purchasing all of those items separately. They're going to go to my one listing. They're going to find the streamers, the picks, and the party supply signs, the little traffic signs. My screen's trying to load something else, so it keeps jumping. But the point is, you don't have to try to come up with something. Amazon will tell you what you can bundle together. So first, see what you can find locally, whether it's party supplies or candles or coffee or whatever, and then see what Amazon says people are buying together. Instant bundle. Say, okay, I can get these here, these here, these here. Now, let's say that you have the birthday, this construction warning tape. If you look at the actual package, it will say Creative Converting, which is a party supply brand, and you can contact that company and say, hey, can I buy from you wholesale? Once you see this bundle of yours is selling, then instead of buying it at the retail store, the party supply store where you found it originally, you can buy directly from them, buy them by 24 at a time, 48 at a time, 144 at a time if they're selling that well, and get each piece to your bundle that way, so you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, my local store ran out of the picks, I got to find them somewhere else. I got to drive to, I have to drive an hour and a half to the next store to find these picks, or I've hit 3 different stores and I can't find them, I can't get them online. If you can buy them directly from the wholesaler, that's better. Now, having a wholesale account is not really that big of a deal. You probably have a reseller certificate for selling on Amazon anyway. So that's all they want. They just want to know that you're a business and you're reselling it so that they don't charge you tax. They don't, necessarily care. And sometimes smaller companies they just want to sell their product. They're not particularly worried. And you can say you're making a gift set out of it, which you are, but you definitely want to be upfront with them on whether or not you're selling online. If they ask, you want to say, yes, I'm selling online, but I make these bundles and nobody has anything like this. So, kind of talk up the fact that you're selling their product well. Now, before I kind of touched on a little bit when you run into brand problems, like you don't want to use Jurassic Park items and then generic items, and it's in Amazon's bundling policy, but it's something that kind of changes regularly. So you want to really stay on top of the rules if you're going to bundle. If you can only get generic stuff, stick with just the generic stuff. So if I'm looking for these types of items and they don't really have, they're just kind of a, maybe they're different brands, like some are Creative Converting, some are AmScan, some are this. Just look up, actually Google party supply distributors, because they're kind of the middleman. They'll get a bunch of these from different companies, and you could buy them from there at a much better price. Perhaps this dinosaur, the one that you have, is from AmScan, but the company that you're looking at has a very similar one, does this particular dinosaur sell the whole lot? Or can you find something that's similar that this distributor carries? The only things you want to be careful with a distributor is if you're on the East Coast and they're on the West Coast, you're going to get clobbered on shipping. So it makes much more sense to find one kind of close to where you are. Just because I'm in New Jersey, I happen to look at like the Pennsylvania suppliers and all that. I mean, I'll still order from California, but if it's something heavy, it doesn't make sense if I can source it slightly local. I mean, even if they're just in one time zone over, it's better than the shipping from all the way from California. So, I mean, certainly Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, anybody, Florida, any of that would be closer than shipping it across the country. So, let's see what's happening. You can sell candles all year long, but you can't send them in FBA if they're going to melt. So meltables can't go in between May 1st and, I'm going to lie to you, I want to say September 1st, but I think it's October 1st. And if it's meltable, you don't want to send it to FBA because it will get destroyed in their warehouse. You can still send it merchant fulfilled though, with no problem. I've actually started sending more things merchant fulfilled because I have things like this little guy. And he doesn't look that big, but when you have, 200 of them, they take up a lot of space in their warehouse. So I send in enough that will sell in a month, but I also have them merchant fulfilled so that if I sell out at Amazon, I get an order saying somebody wants a blue Pegasus, and it lets me know, even if I'm not on top of my inventory that day, that I've sold out at Amazon and also that they're still selling. So then I need to send more in. But in the meantime, I stick this one in a bag, put a label on it, packing slip, gone. So you can still do that with the candles, whether they're individual or if they're in a bundle. I think like the smaller packaged ones, like the like birthday party kind of ones are okay. But like a decorative candle, you wouldn't want to send in because it would melt in their warehouse. And if they're selling fast enough, certainly you wouldn't worry about it too much. Now, Easter bundles, Christmas bundles, anything like that, like I have ones that are, a lot of people at Christmas will do like, they'll put a stocking, they'll put stuff into a stocking and sell it that way. Only make enough that you'll sell through the holiday. The alternative to that is have the stockings available, and make the sets if you want, but have all the guts of the stocking and make the set and say perfect for Christmas stockings, Easter baskets, or party favors. Because then if you still have that product at the warehouse, you can use it year round. You can keep selling it. As long as you can keep sourcing it, you could put it in your, make it a Christmas bundle. And if you have the stocking and they're selling, put enough in so they sell, if in September you're selling 6 a month, send in, keep sending them in until you can't send them in anymore. And then the bundles that you have that are just the bundle without the stocking, you can leave them and then they'll sell as party favors or Easter basket fillers or whatever they are. I know one woman does that, but she has a lot of like little tiny things. So she also calls them piñata filler. So that it could be stuff to fill a stocking, but it could also go in a piñata, which is great, I guess. It works, so she sells them. I don't have anything that little, certainly not child appropriate that's small. But you definitely, don't make your bundle so small that you only have a little window. Absolutely, if you can sell like a St. Patrick's Day bundle or a Valentine's bundle, sell them. But if you have a lot of the product, make it a little more less seasonal almost. The caveat being patriotic stuff, there's plenty of things around the year. So you'll hit 4th of July, Labor Day, Memorial Day, you can catch all those. And then in your keywords, put election, voting, local voting, because then when someone has, a local, governor election or something, they could buy those party supplies for that too. All right. If you have a small bundle, like say it's only 2 or 3 items and you're not going to hit $35, make it $12, because then if they buy 3 of them, they've got $36 free shipping. You know, if it's, say it's like a, you know, back to that coffee mug set, say that it's 2 coffee mugs and hot cocoa or something. You could make it so that buying multiples makes sense, where, you know, if you have, like I use honey in my tea, so it could be honey sticks and different types of teas. It would make sense for someone to buy 3 of them because they would continue to consume them. So anything, even the coffee filters, are something that someone would consume and they would need more. So if you had coffee filters and like some sort of seasoning or something, or flavoring for the coffee, it would make sense if you kept it at $12 that they would buy 3, you know, because then they hit $36 and they would have that free shipping. So if you have a smaller bundle, that don't make it 11, you know, you can make it, I'm not going to do the math quickly, but don't make it $10.99 because it would only hit like $33. You want to make it just enough so that if they bought multiples, they could hit that $35 threshold. And when you source for bundles, it doesn't matter where you source, but make sure you can replenish the bundles. Don't buy the stuff at a yard sale or Goodwill. I mean, you can to try it, excuse me, but if you can't replenish it, you've wasted all that time making a bundle and creating a new listing and doing all this, and you only have maybe 2, you know. I actually have a couple of these guys. So I've got a blue one and a purple one. So say I made a bundle with them and maybe like a little, you know, case to carry them in. If I can only get 2 sets of them, it's not worth my time to create the bundle. So I would just, you know, I would just pass on that and go to something that I can buy a bunch of. Like I have picture frames back here. Perhaps the picture frame with, you know, something complementary would make more sense because you can buy a bunch of them. You don't want to buy just enough for one bundle and then you can't do anything else with it. The other thing I do is I make at least 3 bundles to send them in to see if they're going to sell. If I want to try something that, you know, maybe my bundle is parts for a camera and then the case to carry them all in. I can get a bunch of them for a good price. I could make up a bundle, send 3 in and see if they sell because they're not exactly like what anybody else has sold. And then as soon as they start to sell kind of regularly, then I can start sending more in. I don't want to send in 24 bundles and have them sit there and through Christmas and next thing I know it's February and I'm going to get hit with storage fees for them. So not only do you want to make sure you can source your products so that you can replenish your bundles, just like you would replenish other things that you would sell, but you want to make sure that you're not oversending when you're trying out a new bundle. Like the Trolls thing. Say the next movie that comes out is a flop, you know, that's from that, you know, you think, oh, well, the Trolls stuff did so well. Trolls 2 would be, you know, would be great too. And then the movie stinks. Well, if you've got 36 bundles sitting there, they're going to take up room. They're not selling. So just keep an eye on how much you're sending in so that you don't you know, you don't fill up the warehouse with stuff that's not selling. So I did say finding wholesalers, excuse me, allergies. Finding a wholesaler for like the Trolls things, you'd actually look at the package itself, see if you can find one. But if it's something more generic like the dinosaurs I talked about, the brand doesn't necessarily matter. Dinosaurs are going to sell. Kids are going, little boys and, you know, I guess little girls who like dinosaurs are going to like dinosaurs till the end of time. So a generic one is going to be fine. So you just want to source the products that fit that bundle. So if your bundle is the gift set, the gift box with the eggs and the stickers and crayons and coloring books, or those little color notepads, if you're going to have those 5 or 6 things in the bundle, they need to be exactly the same in every bundle, but they don't necessarily have to be like Jurassic Park. They could all be a no-name brand, but they're still dinosaurs. So if the Jurassic Park one's doing great, look to see if you can source the same types of items that are not a name. And like the one I showed you is not a name, But if you can find other ones that are not a name, but it's the same type of set, those would sell. So that was like a green dinosaur box with all these things in it. So maybe you can find a blue dinosaur box with the same types of things, make the set similar, because you can already see that that one's a good seller. I can look at a chart that says they're selling 12 a month or 18 a month or 30 a month. Then that's definitely an item that you can bundle and sell. Now, similar to bundles is multi-packs. That Maxwell House one I showed, if you only sent those 3 cans in, it's not a bundle. Amazon considers it a multi-pack, and it actually has slightly different rules. Again, you want to double check, what UPC you're going to use. But a multi-pack is nice because sometimes you can source something, like, for example, say tea bags. A little box of tea bags may only be $2.50. But if you give them 12 boxes of the little, scented teas that they like, that multi-pack is not considered a bundle. It's slightly different. But that gives the person that many of that item, and you get more of a profit. If you send in one at $2.49, you're going to make, a nickel. But if you send 10 in and you're able to get a good price for them, then you're going to make a larger amount on those. Especially if you got a really good deal on the set of these teas, you're going to get a better return because it's not these little onesie twosies that you're, one item that you're then getting all of the FBA fees on. If you put them all together, you only get the FBA fees once. And then that multi-pack gives you a better return. Did I explain that right? So it's similar to a bundle, and then in that there's multiple items, but it's all the exact same item. But again, look at Amazon's rules on how to do it. But the point is, sometimes multi-packs make sense because individually the item would be too cheap. So it's similar but different. Are there any other questions on what I've covered so far? I have a tendency to talk fast. Okay. So I am going to go here. All right, so let's say that we're going to create our own bundle. This is actually a bundle I've already created, but I'm going to go through the steps to show how similar it is, how similar it is to creating just a listing, which I covered previously in one of Shawn's mastermind groups. So in this case, I have these 3 9.5-inch dinosaurs. We've got a T-Rex, we've got a Brontosaurus, and a Stegosaurus. They're really cute. I should do a little bit better with the pictures, but they're selling well, so I'm okay with that. Again, I've got the 3 dinosaurs. I made them $35 each. I don't know that someone would pay $12 a piece for them, but at $35, they're doing very well. So let's pretend this doesn't exist yet. When you're going to create a listing, you want to make sure you have the title, just all of your bullet points, good pictures, and like your description, like the different things that you want to say about the bundle. So the very first thing you do is, when it's not created yet, you're going to put your title in. And your title is a lot of the keywords that people are searching for. Next, you'll fill in the manufacturer, which in this case is Treasure Toys. The brand name is Kelly Toy. Oh, there's the product. So I put 9.5-inch red Tyrannosaurus Rex, blue Stegosaurus, green Brontosaurus. And then these are keywords that work well for me in my titles. So colorful teddy bear, dinosaur, stuffed animal. It's really funny. I created this listing and it wasn't doing anything. I hadn't put dinosaur in the title. I had just said what dinosaurs they were. As soon as I put dinosaur in the title, they started selling well. Now, the package quantity here is 3. That is different from when you're saying how many you have available. So when you say how many you have available under your offer, you're going to say they're new. If you only have 1 set of 3, you have 1. You do not have 3. So be really careful with that. When you're putting in the vital info, it's asking how many are in the package, which is the package quantity. But when you're creating the offer and you're saying $35 and how many you have, you want to say that you have one, or if you have 2 sets, if you have 6 sets, but you don't have 3 because there's 3 items. So just be very careful with that. If your bundle has 12 items, but you only have 2 bundles, you only have 2 available for sale. Don't say you have 24 because it's talking about pieces. So under the Vital Info tab, you're going to put the title in, how many are in the package itself, the color, this one is actually multi because I have 3 different little guys. Color map, if it asks for it, will also default to multi. Size, they're 9.5 inches. And then you're going to put in your UPC code, which you can purchase. We've talked about this. I just forgot the name of that place. I get from eBay. It'll come to me. I lost my mind. But you can buy UPCs, no problem. You just put it in, say that it's the UPC. This has now defaulted to the ASIN because it's already a listing that's already there. Don't save and finish. Go to the next tab. If you save and finish, then you won't be able to, it'll give you a bunch of alerts. Hey, you're missing images. Hey, you didn't give us this information. All right, so these guys are new. I would put in new. If it's new, I don't want to put anything in the condition note. Occasionally, I'll say that they're polybagged. The price is $35. I'm not going to put a sale price right now. They're going to start selling as soon as I list them. And again, don't hit save and finish. Now you want to add your images. The first image should be the entire bundle. After that, I then put the individual pieces. This one I made cute, like they're all like hugging. Then the individual images, and your last picture can be a lifestyle one where it's a little kid playing with the dinosaurs. If you want to have them like in like a jungle kind of setting, that's fine. But the lifestyle one is like how they would use the item. After the images is the description. Now, when you're at the original listing, when you're at the original listing, the bullet points that are here are the parts here that are under key product features, and you just click add more to add each of your bullet points. The product description is further down on the page. The description is actually the one that shows up kind of in the middle of the Amazon page if you scroll down. And mine is really boring. It just says set of 3 adorable stuffed animal dinosaurs. I could say perfect for children's birthday parties or whatever. But this is definitely like the last place you really give the person like that punch of, you know, hey, you should buy it today because this is a great set of colorful dinosaurs. But these are the most important. This is what someone's going to see first is your title and then these bullet points. So when you're creating your listing, you want to make at least 3 bullet points here. And generally on toys, on the last one, I'll say not recommended for children under 3, or that type of thing. Or not a toy for decorative purposes only if it's like a little cottage for Christmas or something. And then keywords, under search terms, you can do the same thing where you can add more. You're going to add, this is where you're going to say, like keywords that someone's actually going to search. So terms that they're searching, whether it's Brontosaurus, T-Rex, dinosaur. You want to stay away from like Jurassic Park, Land Before Time, but you want to say prehistoric, gifts for boys, Christmas, Easter, Hanukkah gifts, that type of thing, all goes into search terms. And then in target audience, you want to say, it's coming up as pet supplies. You want to say children, the examples they give are teens, toddlers, cats. And then for the last tab, which I'm actually getting a little error that I'm missing something, you want to make sure you put in the shipping weight, which for this is like 12 ounces, and then make sure that you tell it ounces, pounds, or however you've measured it. The dimensions, of the items themselves. So each one's 9.5. So here I'd put 9.5, whoops, 9.5 by 4 by 4 inches. And then further along, it's going to ask for it again, and it's asking for the package. So the package here, minimum age is 3 years. And then down here is the package dimensions. That's all 3 dinosaurs together. So they're actually 12 by 6 by 4 is how the package wrapped up. So it's inches. And then the weight for the entire package. Add that. Occasionally, like fabric type, if you can see that it's polyester or cotton blend or whatever, the example they give here is 90% cotton, 10% rayon. If you can see on the tag what it is, put it right on. Because sometimes people, you know, someone's allergic to a certain fabric. If you have that information in there, they've got it. Now, this is the last tab. Now you can click Save and Finish. And that creates your bundle. It's going to tell me I revised it because I was using one that was already there. But that's all you need. You need the photo, some, you know, clear information about your item, and there's your bundle. So here I've said it's a bundle of 3. It's these dinosaurs. They're toys. Excuse me. And you create the bundle the same way you create a regular listing. Leading edge codes. Or if you're creating a bundle. The multi-packs are slightly different in the rules. I'm not sure because the rules recently changed where they want you to use UPC and then they don't. Because if you go into a store and you scan a coffee and it comes up as a set of 3, somebody did something wrong. It should give you choices of a single coffee, set of 3. If it only comes up as a set of 3, something's a little wacky there. So when you do it, make sure that you're look at the rules, see if you should be listing it under the original UPC, if you're creating a variation on that UPC, or if you're getting a new barcode to create something completely different. All right, so some of the key things are look at the frequently bought together, so the bundles that Amazon already suggests, which I love, especially if you don't want to do party supplies. I mean, I think people think of that type of thing all the time, but if you look at, you know, if you're at a store and you can get all of these binders for a steal, look to see what they're selling for on Amazon, and then immediately look at the, you know, frequently bought with. You'd be surprised. Sometimes it's filler paper, sometimes it's markers, sometimes it's the sleeves that things go into. So whatever it is, check Amazon on things that you can source anyway and see what they recommend as a bundle. Let them tell you what people are buying as a bundle. If you find another bundle that's on Amazon, do something similar. It's my bundle hack, where you find the dinosaur set and then you can source things that are just like it, and then you've got a dinosaur bundle too. So you're picking up the traffic, you know, from the people that are already, you know, successful in the bundles. Make sure that you can source more than just 1 or 2 bundles. You don't want to spend your money and your time creating a listing and then only be able to sell 2 or 3. If you have an idea for a bundle, check it on Amazon first. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you think bird seed and a bird feeder and some other thing will go together, check. Put in, you know, birding bundle, bird seed bundle, bird watchers bundle, or just bird bundle, and see what kind of things come up. Maybe people are buying bundles of things for their birds, the bird cages, or for whatever it is. It could be a beauty bundle, a party bundle. The only ones that really have a lot of rules are DVDs, books, and videos, like video games, that type of thing. It's weird. Like the wording's kind of funny, but they're like, okay, you can't say I'm going to put these 6 videos together and that's a bundle. They don't want that. If the manufacturer didn't sell it that way, they don't want you to sell it that way. But you can do a movie, like a movie night bundle. Maybe you could put a movie as an accessory to the candy and popcorn and that type of stuff. So you have to just watch how they tell you to do that one. Toy bundles, pet supply bundles, everything. I mean, I've got everything here. I've also seen cleaning supply ones where they put a bunch of different cleaning supplies together, plus the gloves, the sponges, and the towels, which I think is adorable for like, you know, a new homeowner or something like that, but also like just a regular person could be like, okay, I have to, you know, I want to have all healthy cleaning supplies. So go on and get a bundle of all healthy cleaning supplies. Well, maybe you could be the one to source that and have that available for people. Be careful with branding like Disney or Pirates of the Caribbean, something like that. You don't want to have branded stuff with non-branded stuff. So you don't want to have a bunch of Pirates of the Caribbean and then a couple dollar store swords and eye patches. You can still have a Pirates bundle. I mean, nobody's telling you can't, but don't mix the two things, because then you start to get into trouble. If you're going to have Pirates of the Caribbean, make it all Pirates of the Caribbean. Make sure you can replenish it. Only send in a certain amount. Don't overstock yourself, because if the bundles don't sell, then you have all these things. Also, don't make the bundles too big. I had a bundle, it was 11 pieces, and it was great. I was getting $50 for it. Well, I started not being able to get 2 of the pieces. So then I made a 9-piece bundle because I couldn't get those other 2 pieces. And then I couldn't get another piece. So then I basically had an 8 one. Did I want to make an 8-piece bundle? So if you only have like 4 or 5 pieces in the bundle, you don't get stuck with that necessarily. I could not get, it was like some hanging decoration that went with this bundle. I couldn't get them anymore. Nobody had them. The wholesaler didn't have them. So I had to change the bundle. If you're going to make a bundle, it's got to be exactly the same every time you send it in. Also, let's say that you had everything they had in that Trolls bundle. You could absolutely jump on the listing just like you would, anything else. So if you have those 3 dinosaur plush that I had, you could jump on that listing just like you would jump on a listing selling a CD or a bag or whatever. Just make sure it's exactly the same. You're not supposed to say colors may vary or anything like that. If you're selling the 4 pieces that are in that Trolls bundle, you have to have the exact same thing. If it's an 8-pack, you've got to have an 8-pack. If it's a 12-pack of napkins, make sure yours is a 12-pack with the same picture. So if you're jumping on someone else's listing, it's got to be the exact same, whether it's an individual item or a bundle. Look for local wholesalers or distributors. They could be across the country. They could be in China if you are so inclined. But always look at the shipping and consider that when you are making the cost, figuring out the cost for your bundle. If you do see a branded one and you can do something similar unbranded, make sure the whole thing is unbranded. It's certainly less expensive for you. When you send in bundles, make sure you're covering the barcodes on everything that's going into a poly bag, and then just have the one FBA label on the back. It's also a good idea, if you're going to merchant fulfill them, to also have everything bagged at wherever you're shipping from, whether it's home, your garage, a storage unit. That way you are not like pulling plates and that, trying to make a bundle as someone buys it. Don't make your bundle, don't put your bundle so much in your bundles that you become oversized. So for the standard sizes, when it's all put together, it weighs less than 20 pounds. The longest side isn't more than 18 inches. The middle side isn't more than 14 inches. And the shortest side isn't more than 8 inches. So when you pack it, make sure you pack it so it's less than 18, less than 12, less than 14, and less than 8. So you only want an 8 this way. You don't want it any more than that. You don't want a 12 by 12 bundle, because you'll get clobbered on. They're going to charge you an extra $6 just to pull it off the shelf. So nest them together. Nest balloons inside cups, put the plates and napkins together, or whatever it is that you're sending. But watch the sizes of your bundles so that you don't jump into that like large, it's too big, they're going to charge you $6. $6 is a big deal when when you have these smaller margins. And that's it. We have 15 minutes. Do you have any questions? You want me to go over anything? I do talk too fast. I should have taken me a whole hour. To keep something under the oversized, to keep it regular size, the longest side cannot be more than 18 inches. It says it longest side does not exceed 18 inches. So 18 inches long. The middle side is 14 inches long max. And then the shortest side is 8 inches long maximum. And it can't be more than 20 pounds. I mean, if you're going to make a really healthy margin, knock yourself out. It can be, you know, it could be 12 by 12 by 12 if you needed to. You know, maybe it's like a dog gate and a cage, you know, maybe it's a dog crate with a cover that goes on top of it and everything, and it's just a large item. If you're going to make enough money on it, then it can be oversized. But you don't want to push yourself into that oversized size because you put so much stuff in the bundle. And it doesn't have to present well in the bag. I know that sounds funny, but like I can stick a bunch of items into a poly bag. They're going to shift so much in travel that, you know, making them neat so they look real pretty, like a little tiered thing, is not realistic. I always, if it's a bundle that has a bunch of stuff in the bag, I generally put an extra piece of tape on it. Excuse me. I put an extra piece of tape on it so it doesn't bust out. Don't aesthetically, like, you're not making like a gift basket. I mean, if you are, shrink wrap it so nothing moves, but the bag itself is just containing all of the items. So if it's all a bunch of party supplies, just put them in so that they don't get damaged. I've put a piece of cardboard along the back if I had something like that had corners that would, you know, that could get damaged, because the people at Amazon are scanning it and taught like scan, go, scan, go. They're not double checking to make sure they caught the confetti out of the entire set, and they're not, you know, they're going for speed. They want that stuff. I mean, you want it on the shelves as much as they do. So they're just scanning and going. So the easier it is for the scanner at Amazon to process the stuff, the faster your stuff gets to the shelves. And when I pack a box for FBA, I put all the barcodes up as much as possible. So like I have boxes, like I have these little figurines, which I don't think I have any handy. But I have figurines that are in their own box. Well, the barcode's on the bottom. So I put them in upside down because the person at Amazon is just going to scan the items. So it doesn't make sense if they have to pull everyone out and scan it and then move it. If they could just scan them all and move them, that would be easier. And, you know, I just feel like the person at Amazon who's scanning that item, they're going to go for the easiest thing for them. So if everything's already barcoded up, they're going to scan them and keep going. If they've got to take it out and scan it and then put it over here, I mean, they may do that anyway, but I try to make it easy. If I have things that are very similar, like for example, even these guys, I mean, you can tell one's purple and one's blue, but I generally pack all the blue in one box and all the purple in another box. So if I have a bunch of things going in my shipment, I will put all the blue ones in a separate one from the purple, because I don't want them to scan one and go, oh, there's 12 and go, when I only have 6 of the blue and 6 of the purple. Those are just kind of practices that I've started doing. And I very rarely, knock on wood, have trouble with Amazon saying, oh no, we got the wrong thing. You know, especially sizes for clothing, anything that looks very similar. I have a bunch of necklaces. Every one is different. So we put a nice note on the top that says, please scan items individually. Thank you. Like, just, it's a piece of paper they're going to throw away, but I feel like warning them that everything is different in there means that they're not going to scan all those necklaces and say that they're all the same exact item, and then I've got to go, you know, open a ticket and say, no, there's really only 2 of each or 1 of each or whatever it is. So if I put a little love note in there on the top, you know, like, and thank you, little hearts and smiles, I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing, but I don't want them to batch my stuff. They're supposed to scan things individually anyway. So, you know, assume that they do the right thing, but make it easy for them too. All right, is that all? All right, so I will let everyone go. If you have any questions, please ask in the group. I am in Shawn's Mastermind group and a couple of his other groups. My name is Abby Hunt. It comes up Abigail Russell Hunt, I think. So if you have any questions, ask in the group and I'll be sure to take a peek and answer them. And you are welcome to send me a private message if you have any questions with anything or if you need help, creating a listing or something. I do have, I did a previous thing with Mastermind with Shawn on creating a listing. I know we ran through it quickly at the end of this, but if you need help with that, please let me know. Shawn will be happy to connect you with me if you need help creating your first listing or getting something shipped or, working with the UPCs. So I think, yes, question on manufacturer. What do you mean? Like your company name? I have created, someone calls bundles the poor man's private label. So like Treasure Toys is a company, not company, but it's a name I use when I'm creating a bundle of all toy items. And it's not an LLC, it's not anything. A lot of people will write co-branded or multiple brands as do you mean when you're creating the listing itself? Yeah, so some people just write multiple brands or generic brands. I came up with Treasure Toys. I have a different one for cosmetics. I have a different one for beauty stuff. Like some people will put like Beauty Fun or Girls Beauty or something that's not like, it's not Almay, it's not CoverGirl. It's something that's generic that's just, yeah, so then you would use your business name under the manufacturer for the bundles. Then it definitely makes sense to do it that way. Yeah, because then you don't have any, you don't have to worry about them coming back and saying, well, the GS1 doesn't match. Then I wouldn't use branded items. Like I wouldn't put Disney stuff in there. I wouldn't, I would try harder to stay away from that type of thing. But, that's kind of, you would think that anyway. You wouldn't want to be like, oh, look, I carry Disney, I branded Disney princesses, which, so. But yes, so using your own name makes sense. Plus, they could click on your brand name, and it will show all the other ones that are yours. Yeah, you'd be the manufacturer. And that's the one that shows up under, one of them shows up above your name, above the title, and one shows up underneath. But either way, they're highlighted, so you could click on them and then find other ones that are the same. So if you had a party bundle and I clicked on your brand as the manufacturer, it would show up all the other ones that are yours. So maybe you also have a girl one, and then you have a birthday one, and you have an anniversary one and a graduation one. I could just buy them all technically from you. I'm buying from that brand. Like, oh, this bundle has great products. I should see what other ones I can get. I think I list brand and manufacturer the same, especially if like the stuff is a no name anyway. Like if it came from China, like I buy a lot, like the jewelry is China. So if I have a bundle, that's all that stuff. I don't say that China is the brand or the manufacturer. I just put my name under both. And it was funny because once I put dinosaurs, like it was a dinosaur type a lot, I put dinosaurs and Amazon sent me a thing saying, you're not approved to sell the brand dinosaurs. I'm like, no, they're dinosaurs. Like they're dinosaurs, And so I had to change the whole listing because they didn't like it. So, but that was the only time that ever came up. Like, that's them telling me, oh, you can't sell, Abigail's brand. Well, it's mine. I own them. I created them. Like I made them in my workshop in the garage. So, yeah. So Lolly, definitely message me if you think of anything else afterwards. And Greg, it was a pleasure. And everyone else who's watching on the replay, please, let us know if you have any other questions. I definitely have that Jersey speed talk going. I tend to do that a lot. So we'll be happy to put any links or any things into the mastermind group if you have any questions. And now I have to go and watch Lolly's video promoting the mastermind. All right, so I'm Abby Hunt in for Shawn Mayo. It was nice chatting with everyone today. Have a good night.